Hey everyone, welcome to More Than Meets These Guys. This podcast is usually a journey from the beginning of the animated series, but once again, we are delving into the UK comics. Boo, who is from the AxelonUnderground.net, and myself, we wanted to do something that the American people, the American fans, probably aren't as familiar with, the UK comics. But at this point, we're still in that first miniseries. We will be going over UK number 7, which is the first part of issue number 4 in the United States. So we are going to get into this now. How you doing, Boo?
Doing all right.
Excellent.
Always happy to get back in the UK comics.
Yeah, I know you are. You don't think you don't have to, pretend. So yeah, man. Last we left off, we were going to get basically they had saved Spark Plug from the Decepticons, and then like Spike was like, or not Spike, God, Buster is gonna. I actually had to change my list a few times because I kept putting Spike in there. Buster, realizes that his dad gave it the secrets of being, of fuel conversion to the Decepticons. So, but we get a little backstory into why he did that. But before we get into all that, this is a Christmas issue, so you get double the amount of double helpings of readers' drawings in color. So it's kind of cool.
That's always fun.
Yes, it's towards the end of the issue though. You see a lot of that. There's a lot of promotions at the beginning of this, like sticker to promote the NSPCC, which is National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. Sorry, that's a tongue twister. Get it out. And Get Organized in '85, a little advert for Pocket Diaries. But what's really cool is Hasbro rep Anthony Temple. He addresses the readers, because I guess a lot of readers are writing in like, hey, we have a low number of toys out. They're really cool and all that, but when are we going to get a Megatron?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're basically he. This is something we really never got in the American comics, though. Hasbro reps coming in there and being interactive with the fans, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. This is like the precursor to what we have now, where we get the Hasbro Fan Fest and stuff, where they contact us. But this is like the first time you see this, where Hasbro is contacting the fans through the media.
Yeah. And it's really nice. They're basically he's going there saying, their most popular toys are Optimus Prime, Jazz, and Starscream, which makes a lot of sense. But they said that Megatron will be available by Easter. So I guess the UK fans had to wait a little while to get the very realistic looking Walther P-38.
So, oh yeah, and he made sure to drop a 007 reference.
He did.
There, so, yeah.
He talked about the Man from Uncle, the whole whole deal with the Walther P-38.
Yeah, the secret agent kind.
Yes, really cool. But we get right into where issue 6 left off, with the revelation that Spark Plug helped the Decepticons figure out a fossil fuel conversion, which, considering Ed and I talked about this in the miniseries for More Than Meets the Eye, for the original 4-part series opening of the Transformers, where three. Okay, I'm thinking the Ultimate Doom.
Yeah.
3-part opening of the series, where we're basically at the end. We're you're really coming out of the oil embargo of the late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of fossil fuel conversion is pretty, it's pretty prescient for the time. That's kind of nice.
Very timely.
Yeah, it is. Real world factors creeping into the episode. But the Autobots are swamped with repairing the Ark. They're constantly like working on the Ark. There's just so much wrong with it, and they're trying to fix.
Oh yeah, even Mirage is working on it in the background.
He's basically get back, man. He doesn't want to hang out on Earth any longer. He wants to go hang out with Ravage on Cybertron. Apparently,
I was thinking to say, yeah, he's done hanging out with Ravage. So,
but Huffer loses it with Spark Plug, and the other Autobots seem to be listening. Like Ratchet, he repairs gears from last. He's repairing gears from last issue. But yeah, dude, Huffer just goes off on the fact that he helped Megatron. He's basically saying like, "Hey, this human's complicit."
Oh yeah, he wants to execute Spark Plug.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, the Autobots are jerks, man. So yeah, Sparkplug fires back about his service in Korea and getting visibly angry about being called a traitor. I mean, he's doing what it has to do to survive. And Ironhide's like the one that comes to Sparkplug's defense. Like, look, he had to do this. He was captured by Megatron. What do you expect him, to do? So it's kind of neat seeing this. I have, the Korean War that was in the 50s, correct?
Yeah, it was like 51 through 53.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we are like way past that point. We have no recollection of how things were. Like the most closest we got to was watching MASH.
MASH, yeah,
which
actually lasted 4 times longer than the Korean War. So,
yeah. But war is hell.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Mirage is actually like the voice of reason now. Mr. We should just take what we want. Is now going, oh, well, wait, we need this guy because he can make fuel for us now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't kill the guy that can feed all of us.
Yeah, Mirage is a kind of a pragmatic guy here, but like Huffer it's almost like Huffer's trying to split the Autobots into like this faction that these guys are pissed off that Sparkplug helped, and these other guys are like like, hey, let's just use this ability, let's just use this guy's knowledge to fix it. But Ironhide calls Huffer a young one. I guess noting once again, like Ironhide's like an old warrior. We know that from the TV show, but it's really kind of established here how old of a warrior he is.
Yeah, he's the oldest of these Autobots.
Yeah. And basically he goes on the Huffer should know that the Decepticons are really good at torture. And which is true. I mean, like, Buster, see, I put Spike in my notes. Buster looks upset the Autobots are acting like this, but Sparkplug drags Buster out of there. He's like, dude, we gotta go. Blue Streak's like agreeing with Huffer and calls the humans a weak-willed race of traitors.
Yeah.
All the Autobots are being jerks here, man. They really are. And Optimus lays down the law and reminds everyone that debating this is useless, that Decepticons are likely on the way. He's not far off.
Oh yeah, well, after he lets it go, like to the danger zone, then he finally speaks up.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, okay, this is out of control. Let me use my dad voice here. But yeah, he lays out a law. Mirage agrees with Optimus, says if Huffer had harmed Sparkplug, all would be lost, which is true.
Oh yeah.
If Sparkplug, who's the only one who can figure this out, apparently, if they hurt Sparkplug, like, what are they going to do now? There's no backup plan. So there's like a whole full out fight with the Autobots, and they notice that the humans have run off, but Jazz decides to stop them
with the flamethrower.
He throws a wall of flame, so obviously he's a 7th level or higher wizard here.
Right.
This wall of flame. Sparkplug does not make a saving throw, but Buster does.
Oh yeah, Sparkplug failed his Constitution roll right there.
So, but okay, so I gotta note this actually. You go back to color now, but the color is getting a lot better. It's thankfully a lot better. It's not just like there's a thing in the during the 80s where you almost would have like these magenta globs, and like you can have like kind of like a primary color globs on pages, and it wasn't really as we think of color now. I mean, we do things on with digital art now. It looks really good, but then we had all this like this crosshatch, and like I guess it wasn't crosshatch. It was kind of like a dot shading with globs of color over it, but it's gotten better though. The colorist has gotten a lot better with this, thank goodness. And dude, O is watching a newscast in a bar. There's no context to this.
Yeah,
he's sitting at a bar, even though he's not like obviously old enough to drink. He's Buster's friend from high school, and Ted Koppel's hosting Nightline and asking about the tenuous peace between alien and robots, when suddenly a dude cosplaying Optimus Prime about makes O piss himself.
Right, this is the first Transformers cosplayer right there.
Yeah, so you find out that it's O's dad, and it's his bar, and O, his Buster's friend O seems to put on about 40 pounds this last issue. He is like looking real chonky here all of a sudden.
He looks kind of like Julia Child.
Oh, he kind of does. Oh God. Let's see here. Yeah, so yeah, his dad he O gets pissed off and leaves the bar. His dad talks about what's wrong with the kids. I mean, O's dad was sitting up all night getting his cosplay ready, obviously.
Oh yeah, that dude. I mean, that's like a week's worth of work right there, and he did it overnight. So
He did it.
Dude missed his calling.
He comes up behind him like, "Greetings, Earthling." And Optimus Prime's whole get up is fantastic. But so we got outside. We learned that the bar is aptly called Mr. O's.
Mr. O's, yep.
There was not a lot of thought put into O's, family, his names and all that.
Right. I mean, like, is it his first name? Is his last name? Is it nickname? Like, what's with the O? It's like there's zero thought put into it.
Zero. Exactly.
Maybe that's what it is. It's Zero. Mr. Zero.
Oh.
And he's Zero.
Sounds like a villain.
Yeah.
That's a bad Superman villain, Mr. Zero.
And the nosy neighbors are getting out of town.
Yeah, the Rollins, they're leaving town. They're like, man, forget this. We're out of here. But
oh, and O's dad looks like Hank from Breaking Bad.
He kind of does. A little more hair on the side, but still, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
God.
They're minerals, O.
So there's a ballet studio across the street, and a bunch of women look at all the same scene from above. Like, seeing the Rollins leave, and the girls in the ballet studio are also looking on. And it's Jessie's ballet class. And she was hoping to get away from all this robot business and not worry about Buster.
And Frank Springer here drew butts of various sizes.
It was really, really intense. He used a lot of I don't know what references he used, but they were not like, okay, so
he didn't just wing this. He knew these butts intimately.
I actually one of my favorite artists who actually did a lot of the art for Exo Squad is Will Munoz, and he has a very particular style. But all his women look the same. They look very, they very fit, like, almost like X-Men style, X-Men leotard kind of style.
Yeah.
This guy did not go that way. He went very realistic.
Oh yeah, he was doing some figure studies here.
He did. It's almost like he's watching. He watched daytime TV. He's like, all right, so I'm gonna use that one on this girl. So yeah, he would really into it.
Yeah, if Frank Springer had a choice between drawing robots or butts, you know which one he was going to choose, because he put a lot of effort into this one panel.
He did. He really did. It's actually kind of impressive, I gotta say. But so back in the arc, man, the Autobots seem so confused about flesh and bone as they ask Buster, Spark Plug still functions. So apparently the wall of fire that Jazz cast in front of them almost kills Spark Plug. And the Autobots are like so confused about how like flesh and bone works. Ratchet's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm an ambulance, so I'll just take you and we'll go to the hospital. At least, yeah, Ratchet's like, being the reasonable Autobot here. But
yeah, Ratchet is probably the nicest Autobot out of all these.
He is actually. He's the most useful so far too.
It's funny considering like how he's portrayed in Transformers Animated, where he's like the old grumpy one. Yeah. Whereas here he's like the helpful and almost like, I would say almost youthful.
Yeah, actually he actually is portrayed that way a lot in the first issue of the new Skybound Transformers. He's real important in there as well. That's kind of nice. Looking back at this.
Well, his characterization that Budiansky gave him actually seemed like it was based on Hawkeye from MASH.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he was very flippant and liked to party.
Which makes a lot of sense considering how we go in this issue. And so yeah, Ratchet volunteers that he says he's an Autobot. He's also an ambulance now, so he transforms into an ambulance. Note he's an ambulance without a lot of great places in the back to lay down.
Right.
Really, he doesn't have all the aesthetics that an ambulance actually has. So
He's a mini ambulance.
he is. Ratchet's in the back under blankets essentially while they're bumping around through roads. uh Optimus, what I put in here, with all the care of Joseph Mengele, says he hopes Spark Plug can be repaired. He has no concept of organic life, which
move his spine around a lot while you're at
it. Yeah, he just toss him around in there. Fantastic. So Buster drives Ratchet to the hospital, which he's just in the driver's seat. And there's no triage on Ratchet as Spark Plug lays in the back. But he sits back there and he lays unconscious and starts having flashbacks of Korea in 1952. So we kind of get this is actually a nice parallel to how he survived with Megatron, which is kind of nice they did this. Mm-hmm. So there's a guy taking him back to the 4th, 6th, 7th MASH unit because he's a hotshot mechanic. He's going to repair all their ambulances. And the Jeep's blown up by a Korean mine, and the Korean troops note that one American soldier was killed and one is taken prisoner, which is Sparkplug. So Sparkplug uses his skills to make him a valuable hostage. But he basically goes and starts working all their engines and basically makes it so he stays alive. And, he did the same thing with Megatron here. I think they were trying to put it out like he's a survivor because he has a use.
Right.
Makes a lot of sense. They pull in the hospital right for this, and Buster is like, "My dad's sick," and so they take him in there, and the nurse is like, "Where did you get an ambulance at?" He's like, "Oh, well, yeah, we have a repair shop, and it was in the yard, so I just took it." I mean, but
he's quick on his feet.
He is. I'll give him that. He found these ancient things called telephones, like a telephone bank of payphones. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, haven't seen those in a while.
I know, right? All the old days of going to the mall. Back to the Decepticon front, it's all quiet until dun 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 to be continued. And there's a Captain Britain ad and a new Ewok adventure ad, which I forgot about those.
Oh yeah. The Caravan of Courage.
Those were terrible. Yeah, Caravan of Courage is the one it was. But we're back to the line art at least after this. And Megatron emerges, he's all powered up, and he starts taunting the soldiers like, "Come on, give me all you got." So they all let loose. So there's a guy go over there to spare no artillery. They just loose with everything. And Megatron's over there like, "Yep, not touched." So he
just laughs at him.
He does. He goes, "Ha!" Turns around and goes back in. Doesn't even bother to hurt them at all. He's just like, "Yeah, okay, we're good." He walks back inside.
It's a waste of energy.
Yeah.
He didn't even dent him.
Yeah. And so yeah, he goes back inside, and I don't know who it is. I'm guessing Reflector.
Reflector's in this.
Yeah, it looked like Reflector. It looked like Reflector's really good about being a generic looking Decepticon. But he's trying
There's also a generic Megatron helping out.
Really, I missed that. I'll look at that.
Yeah.
But he basically is in there effecting repairs, and it reports that Frenzy, Rumble, Skywarp, and Soundwave are the worst off. Are all hurt. Skywarp being the worst off.
Mm-hmm.
And Starscream insinuates on Starscream's like, "Yeah, it would have been really cool if you didn't let the human return. He's gonna give them all the energy." So Megatron just shoots him. He's like, "Yeah, there's another one to add to your repair list." It was great. I was like, "Add him to the dance report." And but then he's like, "Yeah, he has a treasonous tone, but he has a good point." So he sends Savage to investigate. That was the best thing. He's like, "Yeah, he was right. Yeah,
it's not what you say, it's how you say it."
Exactly. Starscream like, "Hey, so I was thinking, maybe you could go and check things out, make sure everything's okay, because you let the guy go." But no, he's like, "As our leader has done something stupid." Yeah, Megatron's like, "Nah, I've got no reason for that." And he once again is pointing out that he asserts dominance with his fusion cannon.
Mm-hmm.
It's really big about the fusion cannon. what I remember last issue, he was like saying like if I didn't have this, it'd be all different. But so he realizes that's the only way he's asserting control. But yeah, he's like, hey, Ravage, go check things out of the Ark. Yeah, so Ravage goes in there and he's like, once again, he's the most effective Decepticon. He's the best.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah. And so yeah, he Optimus is lamenting that the situation is really bad. But
yeah,
Huffer gives him some hope and tells Optimus that the Ark scanned a Cybertronic life form 4 million years ago. And in Antarctica. That actually
now he's Mr. Sunshine.
Yeah, exactly.
He's all over the place.
It's not so bad. We have this thing could be happening down there. So it turns out that they detected shockwave down in the Savage Lands, which once again we go back to putting this in squarely in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, because they clearly marked that it's the Savage Land.
It was inhabited by the Khazar.
Yeah,
Khazar.
Yeah, Khazar. Yeah,
Khazar. Yeah. So yeah, so it's the Savage Lands. Way before Magneto was down there, and there's dinosaurs, and they're fighting. Or actually, Shockwave's hanging around down there. So the Ark scans the dominant life at the time, which were dinosaurs, which 5 dinosaurs that weren't even around the same time period. But hey, the Savage Lands.
Yeah, it's the Savage Land.
It makes sense, right?
Right.
So it takes and scans like 5 Autobots and makes them as Dinobots. So they take out Shockwave, and that's the last they know about it. Because Shockwave actually does I guess he jams the
drone
that the Ark sends out there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Optimus asks the obvious question, what happened to the Dinobots at Shockwave? And that's kind of where we leave it.
Yeah, they leave us hanging with that.
Yeah.
Oh, and so I did some math on this. So, okay, if Spark Plug was, say, 18 when he was in Korea.
Yeah.
Okay, then that makes him 49 or 50 in 1984.
Which is about right.
Yeah, which means he was born probably about in like 1934, which means he'd be 89 this year.
Well, if he survived this long, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens to him in the comics. I kind of forgot. So I'm kind of curious. Maybe you'll find out as it goes on. It's been so long, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun to find that out. And anyways, we're following the UK comics, so it's not going to be the American comics. So I really don't know what have to do in the UK comics. I'm assuming he dies at some point, but who knows? We'll find out.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything.
But man, we are back.
The Christmas spread.
Yes. And the Christmas spread is kind of cool. Actually, there's some pretty good art for the time. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Pencil, I guess color pencil art. There's some very obvious marker art. But it's not terrible. It's actually pretty good.
I think this was better than I could have done back then.
Yeah, definitely better than me. Actually, it's better than I can do now. I mean, yeah, I'm not actually at that level where I use MS Paint, with the paintbrush tool and yeah, blobs. So
blobs.
We got some good artists in our Discord. Trigger being really good with that.
Oh yeah,
I know you are as well. Actually, my stepdaughter did some really cool stuff for me before for one of my birthdays. So,
cool.
The digital arts, really done, come a nice long way from what we had when we were younger. Sketching things out on lined notebook paper.
Oh yeah.
So.
Or buying like the how to draw Transformers books that you never could really learn how to draw stuff from those books. It's like here's a circle, here's a line, and now you're done. It's like what
line? Now erase them all, make a robot. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I mean there was also the there were those that with the robots, and there were trying to think, there was something else came to mind. I'm trying to remember what it is now. But yeah, I mean you could actually, I know when I was younger, I must have seen Empire Strikes Back when I was really young, because I got to the point where I would just draw like like side view scenes of the battle on the Hoth, because there's like Imperial walkers, and there's snow speeders, and there's the giant ion cannon and stuff. I don't know how many times I drew that when I was little, but I drew that a lot.
Oh, there's everything you want as a kid, like for a battle scene. Yeah.
Oh yeah, big round cannon with it's a globe with a big cannon on the end of it. There's big Imperial walkers, and there's I don't know,
giant robot camels.
Oh yeah, actually, pretty much. Yeah, I always thought they looked like big dogs, but camels maybe more. I don't know. And of course, chicken walkers and all that kind of nice stuff.
Oh yeah.
I think I even put a wampa in there a lot, just because wampas are.
You got to have a wampa in there.
Yeah. Anyways, but we are back with Machine Man.
Oh, I know, man. It sneaks up on you, right? You think you're getting pretty deep in here, and then
I was really hoping that we could have more Transformers before we got into Machine Man, but here we are.
Oh, yeah. Well, we did have a little bit of Transformers before that, because Ravage reports that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the Autobots don't have any fuel.
Yeah, are just like, yeah, we're good, guys. And then they basically say, like, all the Decepticons, all right, we're going now, and they all fly off. There's a nice splash page of all the jets taking off and going after the Autobots.
Oh yeah, Megatron and Starscream make up.
Yeah, it's a common theme, I guess, with the cartoon and the comic. There's always going to be a little fight between those two. They're
like a toxic relationship.
They are worse than the Red Alert and Inferno. Anyways, they take off, and they're going to attack the Autobots, and we get a little preview in the comic about the what are they going to do when like the Autobots are like basically being gunned down by all the Decepticons. So that'll be in the next issue.
Yes,
but there's a little like what's the cat what is the cat's name? I'm blanking on it right now. Oh my gosh, I'm
Ravage.
No. The comic.
Oh, you're talking about Matt and the cat?
Not the cat, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with Humph.
Yeah, there's this kind of takes place after all the like about 3/4 of the Machine Man.
They have to give you breaks to get through Machine Man. Here's a puzzle. Take a break from Machine Man for a while. You're doing a puzzle.
Yeah, Matt the Cat, I don't really. That is such a weird little comic to have in the back of this thing. Like, it ran a robot, and I don't know. It was kind of goofy and stuff, and had robots in there. But, anyways, Machine Man. So let's go.
Yeah. Well, the robot kidnaps Matt this time. Like, takes him, he abducts him into his UFO. So that was
really
weird.
Cool looking UFO. But anyways, so Machine Man. I'm gonna give you this because I cannot make it through a Machine Man comic without rolling my eyes and be like, dude, this is terrible.
Oh yeah, well, he left off and he was like having like flying cars zapping at him and stuff, like junk cars.
Yeah.
So we pick up right from there, and this is the second part of Xanadu, where he's fighting Kublai Khan.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So he fights his way through a bunch of trials and tests, and then there's a giant maze that Kublai Khan throws at him to test his worthiness. And X-51 defeats them all. No matter what it is, he finds a way around it with his Machine Man powers.
With his Dynamite powers.
Oh yeah, totally. The stretchy arms and everything. They're telescoping arms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Khan decides that he's going to lead him to an airship that he's in. And as soon as Machine Man bursts in, he's knocked unconscious by Khan's henchman, Tong.
Oh.
Yeah. Which, I don't know, it just seems weird because, he's doing all this stuff to capture Machine Man. He's testing him. Like, oh, he's passed every test. But as soon as he shows up, Tong just knocks him right out. And it's because Khan wants to transfer his mind into Machine Man's body.
Of course. Well, makes sense, right?
Right. But if Tong can just knock him out with one hit, then why don't you just transfer your mind into Tong? That seems like the better deal. He knocks out Machine
We're
Man
trying
one
to
hit, right?
we're trying to overthink this comic, man.
Oh, I know.
It's,
Oh, totally. This is absolutely like the old serials that they
oh,
used
it
to show
is.
from. Yeah,
100% is.
yeah. So yeah, he wants to take X-51's body for his own since it's so superior. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that X-51 was just playing possum, and he was never defeated by Tom. Okay. So
really
he hacks into Khan's equipment that's doing the mind transfer or whatever, and just trashes it by reversing the polarity. So Geordie LaForge would love
exactly.
this.
He does a Star Trek thing. Okay.
Oh yeah, and then he gets up and beats the crap out of Tong, I guess, just to prove himself to him. And then he body shames Khan, and makes fun of his weight, and then bails out of the airship, leaving Khan to die in an exploding airship with Tong as unconscious. And he tells Khan's men basically you might not want to be here. Like they all start bailing out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You see all of Khan's guys like parachuting out, and the giant blimp is just exploding.
One of the funniest things about the Machine Man is you found out recently you have a lot of his early issues.
Oh yeah, I've got 1 through 8, which 1 through 9 are the Jack Kirby issues that
nice.
He wrote and illustrated. Nice. And then issue 10 is when Marv Wolfman and Steve Ditko took over, which is what we've been reading. 10 and 11 is what we've read so far.
Oh, really? Okay. So
yeah,
that's actually kind of neat that you have other stories. Does it have kind of a creation thing for X-51?
That actually, the creation story was in 2001: A Space Odyssey number 8.
What?
Yeah, they did. They had a comic for 2001: Space Odyssey, and in issue 8, it was actually the story of Machine Man. And I guess it was so popular that they brought him into the Marvel universe and just carried on with it.
Yeah, it was a great bridge from 2001. Thanks, guys.
Right. But they were doing odd stuff like that. Like they had the Logan's Run comic, and it
it's true. I remember that.
Yeah, a lot there are Thanos stories and stuff.
Yeah.
So
that actually makes sense. There's a lot of old Swamp Thing comics that had a lot of those your John Constantine's in it. There was a lot of those origin stories in other comics that you didn't actually. Werewolf by Night had the first appearance of Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of those comics had introducing a character, and the character was so popular it became its own series.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Moon Knight.
So yeah, and it says Kirby left the Machine Man comic to work on Fantastic Four. I want to say the cartoon.
Yeah, it's probably not going to go anywhere. And Jack Kirby working on Fantastic Four stuff, it's obviously not going to pan out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how X-51 got introduced.
Okay. I wonder why. I wonder if it was wonder if there's a reason why it was called X-51. Is there a
yes
there? Oh
yeah, there were 50 that came before him.
Oh,
and they were trying to basically build an AI, and they were all failures. None of them would work out. So the scientist that was working on him said, well, what if I raise this one like an actual child, like a human? And he did, and that was X-51. That was the Machine Man, and that it worked.
Yeah, but then he seems awfully human.
Yeah, and then the government basically pulled the plug on the project and was setting them all to self-destruct.
Mm-hmm.
And he disabled the explosive in X-51 so he could survive, and basically just set him loose.
So he starts making energy beings and doing weird stuff with Xanadu.
Yeah. So he's just kind of stumbling his way through life, trying to pondering humanity and his place with it.
It's really a bad idea because he does really bad things.
Oh yeah, he's totally just fumbling his way through and doesn't really know what he's doing, but he's very judgy on top of all that.
He is. I kind of like the newer Machine Man that you're showing me images of.
Oh
He's a
yeah.
jerk.
Oh yeah, and they turn out that one was an imposter machine man. That's not actually X-51, they said, but they did that in a retcon. So,
oh,
yeah,
so he's an imposter, but he's a lot more entertaining than the original one. Okay.
right. And he's still like popping up in comics, but they've just said that that's not the actual Machine Man. That's like I don't know, a bizarro Machine Man.
Well, yeah, I'd rather watch the read the Bizarre Machine Man than the one that's in this book.
Oh yeah, he's a lot more fun. He's crazy. He's like Bender.
He kind of is actually.
Yeah.
He looks like Bender, but if he was dressed like Dr. Octopus with the shades,
Yeah,
and trench coat and stuff. Oh yeah,
he's Bender cosplaying an edgy human.
he really is. Who doesn't care about anything and anyone? Yeah, it was good.
So did you get to check out the Robot Roundup?
I did. They had like cross section of Marvin. The what? God, I'm blanking on the description.
Oh yeah, was the manic depressive
robot? Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
From Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes.
From the BBC version. Yeah.
Yes. Not the American one. I recognize the shape immediately because I've seen in that old BBC version, which is kind of hard to watch.
But it was almost verbatim from the book. Like they followed the book very closely.
They did, which is maybe why, because British humor doesn't always play well, especially with like that. It actually kind of it was like very, I don't know, I almost felt like muddled down in things.
Mm-hmm.
The American one that came out like what in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
it went like really fast through a lot of stuff. But the BBC one, it's if you know the story, it actually works really well. It's entertaining. But yeah, man,
it was like Doctor Who level graphics, and not new Doctor Who, like Doctor Who from like the 80s.
Yeah, like Tom Baker Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Had
that level of sci-fi graphics.
Was Zaffo and Beaverbox had a like almost like a Muppet head on his shoulder.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
It was terrible. Yeah, but this is the Marvin, the depressed robot.
It's a cutaway, so you see all of his guts, but you still can't see what's wrong with him.
No, he kind of gives you like a readout with everything. Anyway, so yeah, it's kind of neat seeing all that. In with this whole thing with like the Robot Roundup, there was a lot of stories, but I noticed one. I gotta look here. It was I took a screenshot of it because it was like basically a female like AI robot.
Oh yeah.
Where was that at? The robot? Oh no.
Is that the one at University of California?
Yeah, that was a lady. That was my robot. A robot called Sweetheart caused trouble earlier this year at the University of California's Lawrence Hall of Science. The problem with Sweetheart is that her shape was a little too feminine. She has a very large metal bust, and her one role in life is to pour out coffee. So it basically made a Waffle House waitress.
Yeah, and if you get to see it, it's really not that feminine. It's basically it's a coffee pot with like a couple of like ladles on the front.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like something that people look for, but
this is not Cherry 2000.
No, oh, God.
She actually looked more like Marvin.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I looked up the Professor Igor Alexander and his wizard robot.
Yeah,
and he built it to work like a neural network, modeled after like the brains of primates. And he's actually been very active in researching artificial intelligence, and even has publications as recent as 2017 about emergent machine consciousness.
Nice.
So like, he's still out there just plugging away at AI.
There was another one, that the robot that went to church.
Reverend Bob McKenzie's robot.
The mechanically minded Reverend Rob McKenzie found a new role for robots, teaching young people about the Bible. For 8 years, Ron and the robot called Robbie, in relation to the star of the Forbidden Planet, have brightened up Sunday school classes all over the country. Robbie was built entirely from scrap components such as old loudspeakers, furniture casters, and doorbells and he can speak, move his head, and flash his eyes. Man, almost like it was a simpler time.
Well, if I wanted to hear a soulless automaton talk about the Bible, I'd just go to one of these mega churches around here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You are in town with your boy there, and that is mega church.
Lock the doors, the hurricane coming.
We would help. We would be right because it was going against building codes and all that. Yeah, there's a nice picture of this Reverend Ron McKenzie's Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie almost looks like a refrigerator, like a mini fridge with a head on top.
Oh yeah, it's got him opened up in that one part.
Yeah. It's it was I guess he had it made so he actually had a good grip, like the robot itself.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. No, actually, I'm sorry. This is another story. I'm looking at, like, I'm crossing my stories in my my robot pictures here. They're talking about, like, the visual problems outlined above. Another problem for robots is their sense of touch. So they're actually trying to do something that. Okay, when I was younger, during this time, actually, I really liked those Radio Shack Armatron robots. You ever see those? They had, like,
oh yeah,
one arm. Yeah, I had, like, two versions, like the one that was just arm by itself, and then, like, one had like a grasper claw thing.
It had like an orange claw on mine.
Yeah. They're great, actually. They work pretty well. I play that thing a lot. So they're basically trying to figure out how to make robots where they can actually detect touch, like they're touching something, but not so strong that they break a wine glass. So that's what they're trying to work, as things like make robots that are more like household servants, which is, I think something that we're still trying to work on, in all honesty. And the Boston Dynamic stuff is really good. They're more. I feel like they're more interested in keeping equilibrium with a robot. Keeping it upright.
Oh yeah.
Those,
a lot of this.
Where
they're kicking them over?
Yeah, they're pushing them over with like a broomstick.
Yeah.
That's where Skynet's going to rebuild, man.
Oh yeah, they're going to realize what they're doing to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of that technology actually developed for prosthetics.
Yes. For the help of the disabled.
Mm-hmm.
And that was said, like, the Cransfield Institute of Technology near Bedford in 1972 project was begun. It was intended to build artificial hand for disabled. So by the 80s, they were like, it was still, they're trying to work on this. They feel like it was picking up. And honestly, a lot of there's been a lot of progress still with prosthetic limbs and like their ability to grasp and use their grip. So I kind of like this, that they're really going into, like, they're having a section of this that's really going into like sci-fi and movie robots.
Oh yeah,
saying what the robots can do now.
I want to say I read an article not long ago where they'd actually developed a prosthetic arm that was run by a chip in their brain.
Yeah,
so they could just think and it would move and do stuff. So
yeah, so it should actually, at this point. The way this is going, they're trying to figure out how they can make this work better. And I feel like we're still every day we're finding out new advances with all this.
We're getting closer to GoBots every day.
It's actually not wrong. God, you brought up recently my GoBots were basically like cyborg, aliens.
Oh yeah, because they have brains.
Yeah.
And then, like when in the cartoon, when they meet like the first GoBots, they're just people with like a few little pieces, like they might have a robot arm and an eye, and that's like the earliest GoBots.
Yeah, you actually made some nice AI art with Crasher with her long brain.
Oh yeah, that disturbed my kids quite a bit.
Anyways, yeah. So this is once again a really good issue, and I like how they give some background for the reason why Spark Plug did what he did.
Oh yeah, and we'll get more into that next issue as well.
Oh yeah. So it gives kind of shows like the Autobots are really not thinking like clearly on this. So I'm kind of glad to see it. It's really neat to have that whole fleshed out idea. That story.
They're still groggy from waking up after a 4 million year nap.
Groggy and grumpy.
Yes. Oh, and the cover of this issue was done by Mark Teixeira as well. From Ghost Rider in the 90s, the Dan Ketch Ghost Rider. He did the last cover too, the Spider-Man cover.
Yes.
Yeah, he did that one as well.
Okay, that's nice. I'm trying to. Okay, cool.
Oh, and you can actually see his name on the American version of the cover. You can see where he signed this one, whereas there was a mystery about issue 3 for a long time, and then Budiansky revealed it. But this one in the American, you can actually see Teixeira on it.
Nice. We are one issue away of finishing the American miniseries. So after this, it splits off completely, which is great. I can't wait to see all that.
Oh yeah, you'll be in new territory then.
I'm kind of excited because it's been a year since I've read the comics. I've got them all in a box behind me, but reading the UK comics like this it's gonna be kind of interesting because I know you kind of let on that how much it diverges from the American. So I'm interested to see it. So that's been great.
Oh yeah, well it kind of weaves in and out because it still keeps pace with it, but it fills in so many gaps along the way.
Yeah. And honestly, with I feel like it's going to go into more of, you said it's more of the idea of the ship's computer, the ARF computer, and it's going to go into more of that. So I don't know. Auntie, that's right. I'm interested to see that. So and honestly, the fun issue, the art's getting so much better.
Oh yeah,
they're really falling into the Sunbow models really nicely.
Yeah, everybody was on model in this issue.
Yeah, they really were. I mean, everyone was. Even Jazz when he burned Spark Plug.
Yep.
So
that's all he needed was to boogie a little while he was doing it, and then
a little scat with the firewall. Right. It's nice to know that Jazz is at least a level 7 wizard. So good on him. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us this week. Ed had a little busy weekend with his son, doing all kinds of things. So I asked Boo if he would mind getting involved in doing this. We were actually supposed to do this a while ago. I'm the guy who's busy all the time, and I have trouble finding time to do my own thing. I love doing the podcast and talking to all y'all. So if you guys wouldn't mind, I'm going to put in the show notes a link to the Discord. Come join the Discord. Come talk to us. Hang out with us. We put a lot of information in the Discord by the episodes and issues and stuff. There's a little community built there. Check out the AxonUnderground.net, or actually .com now too, because you got that all.
Yeah, we've got them both now.
Yeah, this is actually Excellent Underground was my first website message board thing I called home back in 96, I think. Anyways, so it was one of those old things I went to, and it lives again. You can't kill it.
Yeah, it won't stay down.
No, it won't stay down. So yeah, basically check all that out, and thanks so much for being here this week, y'all, and thanks for doing this, Boo. I appreciate it, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a quote.
Oh, please, by all means.
Are you the creatures that live in this place? So squishy, so fragile, so pathetic.
From
that's Starscream in the new comic.
Oh, that's right. Before he squishes so okay, so I'm not gonna spoil that. The new comic, by the way, if you are a fan of the Walking Dead comic, man, this has the Walking Dead fingerprints all over it. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, totally.
Big fan, and it's pretty hopeless, just like the Walking Dead. If you read the comic,
this would not have flown back in '84 at all.
This is not full of hope and dreams. This is not what we expect from the heroic Autobots.
Hasbro wouldn't allow this for something they were trying to start out new and sell their toys.
No.
What's going on in this comic? But it's great. I love it.
It's fantastic because it makes things really hard, and
it's big boy Transformers.
It really is. Spark Plug's an alcoholic. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty in the best kind of way. I'm a big fan of it already. I'm very impressed. The Void Arrivals, with the Skuxoids in one issue of it. God, there's I haven't actually read the issue that has the Quintessons on the cover. I'm kind of saving that one because I'm kind of spreading it out so I can really enjoy it. But if you like the new comic, check out the Void Arrivals issues. They have a Transformers character in each of the issues leading up. So
it's the build up towards #1.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see Benson Yee. He took a video of the panel for the Skybound panel at New York Comic Con, which had what's his face from Walking Dead, Kirkman, yes, Robert Kirkman. He was on the panel, so he has some input in this, and I know he also loves the Sunbow comic, so I expect a lot of good things from this comic. This is gonna be really good.
Oh yeah, Benson Yee posted today. They gave them ashcan copies of Duke at that panel.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow.
Yep, I saw that. I saw a picture of that. So they're going to be building that G.I. Joe and Transformers universe all together. It's going to be really good. So I'm a big fan.
Yeah, and I think I saw one of the covers. It actually has like Starscream behind Duke.
Yep.
Like flying there. So I guess it maybe do like Void Rivals where we have Transformers cameos in all those issues as well.
Yeah, this is great. And I know Marvel built that universe all together with G.I. Joe, Transformers, and X-Men and everything else before they kind of diverged their own little path, which was just Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested to see how they do this because you're not really pulled with the constraints of I don't know, it was almost like you had to go with a 90s toy motif, and we're not doing that anymore. So that'd be interesting to see what we have.
And I'm really interested in where Void Rivals is going because it's a really good series.
It is. It's like what Enemy Mine.
Yeah, it's totally shades of Enemy Mine on there.
It is. So it's all really good hard sci-fi, really good stuff. Y'all should check it out. Go to your local comic shop, buy an issue, or buy a digital issue, read it. They're good comics.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very good.
Anyways, I'll leave y'all with that. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk to y'all soon. Later.
Bye.
Morethanmeetstheseguys is performed by Evan Johns and Ed Strickland. Research is performed by Evan Johns, Ed Strickland, and with special research done by Boo of the AxelonUnderground.net. All used images in the videos are property of Sunbow, Hasbro, Paramount, or Marvel. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in every week with us. We appreciate it.